You're working at the Linux command line and you need a way for searching for files based on their properties? Great, then this video is just for you. Hi, my name is Robert Wolfert, and in today's lesson I want to show you the Linux way of searching for files based on their properties straight from the command line. Yeah, I want to show you the tool if it comes to searching for files on any Unix-like system. But wait, before diving in, there is a catch. As always, there is a catch. At the end of this lesson, I will make you an offer. I will make you an offer that I think will be very valuable for you. So only if you are okay with this, me making you an offer at the end of this module, at the end of this lesson, stay with me and let's dive in straight into the lesson by sharing my screen. So here we are. Here we are, and if you want to search for files based on their properties, then the tool you use for this on any Unix-like system is the tool find. As an example, let's search for files with names ending with .txt. Find-name *.txt. This is a search criteria for the find command that says, please show me all the files with names matching by or matched by this pattern. And as you see, find shows me some files, and you see that the find command works recursively. It goes into all the directories and searches there for files based on the criteria I give to the find command. Yeah? So this is the way the find command works. By default, the find command searches within the current directory. If you want to search in a different directory, let's say you want to search within the /etc directory, then add the directory you want to search within as the first parameter for the find command. Yeah. Typically, if you're working at the Linux command line, then the order of the parameter doesn't matter, but here it matters. Here it matters. If you want to search within the etc directory, then just use /etc as the first parameter. Let's start find here via sudo, just because I don't have any permissions, or I don't have permissions to everything within the etc directory. Yeah. So sudo find etc -name *.txt. I do not find anything. Let's search for other names. Let's search for files ending with .conf, and you see there are a plenty of these files. And here the order really matters. If you append etc, for instance, the path at the end of the command line, then you will see an error message, paths must precede expression /etc. Yeah, so the path needs to be in front or before the criteria you are searching for. Yeah. So by default, find searches within the current directory, within the directory, which is a placeholder for the current directory, and you can omit this current directory and just call find and then the criteria you are searching for. Yeah. Okay. So this is the find command. The find command lets you search for files based on their external characteristics. This is important here. Yeah, find doesn't open the file and analyzes the content of the file, but find can use any external available property of the file for searching. And these properties are the name of the file, the size, the ownerships, the permissions, the timestamps, and so on and so on. All the things you can see if you look at the file without opening the file. Yeah. Okay. So find is typically called in this way. You call find, then you can give a path if you want to, and the path, the directory where you want to search in. This is completely optional, therefore the brackets here. And then you give a criteria. You're searching for files based on a criteria. For instance, the name of the file, the criteria, or the size, or the timestamp, and so on. And you can, if you want to, append multiple criteria, and these multiple criteria will be combined within logical AND together by default. Yeah. Okay, so you give a criteria, at least one criteria, and you can append multiple criteria if you want to. Such a criteria is typically, or is, for instance, the dash name. Yeah, and pay attention here. Dash name is a long option. This is an option consisting of more than one single character, but it is introduced with only one single dash. Yeah, pay attention to this. Not find dash name, yeah, but find dash name. Okay, so you have the criteria here. The first criteria we had a look at was the criteria name, and then the name of the file name. This name is a search pattern. Then you could search for the size of files. Size. You will have a look at this in a few seconds. You can search for the type of files. Yeah, let's say you want to search for files, or you want to search for directories only, or only for symbolic links, or only for character devices. Yeah, then you use the type, or you can search for the permissions set for a file, or you can use the timestamp, for instance, the M time, the modification time, the access time, and so on and so on. These are all the criteria you can use for searching for files. Yeah, if you want a list of all the available search criteria you can use with your find command, then have a look into the manual page. Have a look into the manual page, man find, and you need to scroll a little bit down, just because first there are all the options mentioned you can use. These options control the behavior of the find command. For instance, to never follow symbolic links or follow symbolic links, and so on and so on. These are the options that control the behavior of the find command. And then let's go a little bit deeper. Let's scroll down until we come to the chapter tests. Yeah, and here you'll find all the tests you can use with the find command. For instance, you can search for files that are empty. Yeah, just with the criteria dash empty. You can search for executable files, and you can search for the timestamps. We have 3 timestamps available. With every file, we have the access time, we have the change time, we have the modification time, and you can use the access time, for instance, here, together with a reference to a different file. You can search for files with an access time newer than the access time of a reference file. Or you can search for files with an access time newer or older than n minutes. Yeah, you won't simply write only the n. Yeah, that would mean that you search for files accessed exactly 3 minutes ago, for instance. Typically, you will search for files with an access time within the or greater than m minutes or lower than n minutes ago, or fewer than n minutes ago. So if you're searching for files accessed within the last 5 minutes, then you would write the criteria -a min minus or -5. Please give me all the files within the current directory and within all the directories, within the directories, and so on. And give me all the files with an access time that is within the time frame of the last 5 minutes. And here we have such a file. This is only the one file list.txt. amin for the access time, cmin for the change time, mmin for the modification time. So we have a file here, list.txt, modified and accessed within the last 5 minutes. Let's go back into the manual page of find. Let's scroll down to the tests, and there you see we have the access time, the A time, and we will find the C time, the change time, and we will find the M time, the modification time. And just as with the A time, we can use here the M min for searching not within a time frame of 24 hours, but within a time frame of minutes. If you use M time, A time, C time, these criteria, M time, A time, C time, then you are searching with a granularity of 24 hours. So you can search for files accessed within the last day, within the last 2 days, for instance, by searching for files with -a time, -a time -2. Please show me everything that was accessed within the last 2 days, within the last 2 times 24 hours. So if you use A time, C time, M time, you're searching with a granularity of 24 hours. And you will get everything that was accessed, changed, or modified within the last X 24 hours or without the last X 24 hours. Every file that was accessed more than 2 days ago for the last time. And these are all the other files here. So A time, C time, M time, A time, C time, /M time, for the 24 hours, or you could use A min, C min, M min if you need a minute granularity. A min, C min, or M min. So these are the timestamps, the criteria for searching for timestamps. Or you can search for the size. Back to the manual page. Let's scroll down to the test. And now let's search for size. And here, see, you can search for the size of a file with -size. After that, a number. And you can, if you want to, append a unit. Append a unit for megabyte, gigabyte, kilobytes, and so on. By default, size searches for files based on the block size. But if you want to search for megabyte, kilobyte, and bytes, then you add a unit after the number. And again, you can search for files with an exact size, or you can search for files greater than or lower than or smaller than a given size, yeah, just by prepending a dash, a minus, or a plus sign in front of the number. Yeah. Okay, so let's say we want to search for files based on the size, and we want to give the size in bytes. Okay. I search for files with a size of exactly 1, 2, 3. See, these are bytes. Yeah? I don't have any files within the current directory with a size of exactly 123 bytes. We have 18 bytes, for instance. Let's prove that it works. We're searching for files with 18 bytes in size. Great. Yeah, we find exactly this one single file. Let's search for a file that is exactly 75 bytes in size. We see the file list.txt, and here it is. Now let's search for files smaller than 100 bytes. And we see a few of them. The hello.sh script, we see the list.txt, and we see some others. Let's prove the sizes here. Let's do an ls-l with this file, for instance, 26 bytes, and let's do an readme, for instance, ls-l with the readme file here. We have 46 bytes. Yeah. So if you want to verify this a little bit easier, then you could, if you want to, append after the criteria an action. You could optionally append an action. Let's simply write action. And the action, there are multiple actions available. Yeah, just have a look into the manual page or find for all the other actions. The action that you will typically need additionally is the action exec. -exec. So by default, find just prints out the names of the files it has found. Yeah? But you can execute a command line with every single file the find command has found. Yeah? And you do this with -exec. Then you can write a command line, and you need to close the command line with a semicolon. You need to quote a semicolon so that the shell doesn't interpret the semicolon. Yeah. So for the find command, write or append after all the criteria you have, append -exec, then a command line, yeah, closed with a backslash and a semicolon. And everywhere at the command line, you can insert a pair of curly brackets. I will demonstrate you this in a few seconds. Yeah, and this pair of curly brackets is the file name of the file just found, the file name. Yeah. Okay, so within our example, we could just find or search for files based on the size, and then we could do an -exec, for instance, ls-l, the file name, and then we need to close the command line here with a backslash and then a semicolon. Let's have a look. Let's try this out. Here we are. Let's do it. ls, now find -size-100c, yeah, all the files lower than 100 bytes in size. And now we want to see a listing of every single file. We do this with -exec, ls-l. Yeah, we want to have a long listing so that we can see the size of the file, and the placeholder for the file name itself is this pair of curly brackets, and we need to end the exec statement with a backslash semicolon. Let's try this out. Great, this works. Yeah, you see this, that for every file we have called ls-l, and we see the sizes of all these files so that we can prove that we really searched for files that are smaller than, with a size smaller than 100 bytes. Yeah. Okay, so find size -100C. You could find for files with a size greater than 1 megabyte or 1024 kilobytes. Yeah, for instance, here I have one single file within my current directory. This is the file demolog that has a size larger than 1 megabyte. Let's prove it. 1.2 megabyte. And we could simply try to search based on the megabyte unit. Great, it works. Yeah. So this is how the find command works. You give a list of criteria to the find command. All these criteria are by default ANDed, combined with a logical AND together. Yeah. Then find will print out the names of the files, or you can append an action. Yeah, and this action then will be executed instead of just printing out the name of the file. And the action is typically -exec, yeah, a whole command line with a placeholder for the file name just found, yeah, the pair of curly brackets. Let's combine some criteria as examples. Yeah, let's do this within the etc directory, just because there are some more files within there. Yeah, I need to call the find command via sudo find etc, and I want to search for files with names starting with an A, for instance. Please show me everything within the etc directory starting with an A. Yeah, and great, you see this. You have etc ACPI, you have etc security access.conf, you have etc systemd, and so on, accounts, and so on. You see every file within the etc directory starting with an A. But you see not only files, but you see symbolic links to, you see directories, or you do not only see regular files. Yeah, everything you see here are files, but there are different types of files. And if you want to see only regular files, for instance, then just append a criteria for the file -type, for the file type -type, and then an F for the regular files. Or let's say I want to search for directories -type D. Now I see only directories. Yeah, or I want to see only symbolic links. Yeah, -type L stands for symbolic links. Yeah, and so on. And now we have two criteria, and these two criteria are combined with a logical AND. So we will see only files and only links, only symbolic links starting, or with names starting with an A. If you want to combine parameters with a logical OR, then you can just insert a -O just between criteria. Yeah. Then we have a logical OR. We are searching for files with names starting with an A or symbolic links. Here we are. Yeah. Or we can search for files, regular files, starting with an A, or directories with names starting with an B. Yeah. So if you have multiple criteria at once at the command line, then these criteria will be ANDed together, combined with a logical AND. If you have -O between parameters or between criteria, then these criteria will be ORed together. They will be combined with a logical OR. Yeah. So we are searching for files, regular files starting with an A, or directories starting with an B. Yeah. Okay. This is the way the find command works. And if you need a list of all the available tests you can do with the find command, have a look at the manual page. This is really, really important. You cannot remember all the criteria. I think I cannot remember all the criteria. Simply go into the manual page of find and then scroll down until you find the capture with the title tests. Yeah, and there you find all the tests you can do with the find command. Yeah. Have a look. If you're searching for something you can see externally from a file without opening the file. Yeah, you're searching for files based on such criteria, then you can use the find command for this. At the end, or at the start of this lesson, I talked about an offer. And here it comes. To be honest, we have two offers. I have the second offer is a free one. Yeah? And the first offer is an ebook I have written, the Shell Toolbox. The Shell Toolbox is an ebook I've written originally by request for my clients to give them a reference and overview over all the tools, command line tools they need for their daily work. Yeah. Every tool within the Shell Toolbox, every tool comes with example calls with a short explanation to illustrate how and what this tool can be used for. And today you can have access to this book too. If you're interested into this book, go to shelltoolbox.com, yeah, and order your copy today. And the second offer I have here is is the Linux Beginners Framework. If you are just starting out with working at the Linux command line, yeah, then it is often, or it feels often, a bit overwhelming working there, addressing files, and moving around within the directories and so on. Yeah, and the Linux Beginners Framework are your 5 steps to feel comfortable at the Linux command line. Yeah? So if you are just starting out with the Linux command line, then request your free copy of the Linux Beginners Framework. I hope you can see it here, robertw.io/lbf, the Linux Beginners Framework. Yeah, just enter your email address and I will send you your copy of the Linux Beginners Framework straight into your inbox. Yeah, so this is the free Linux Beginners Framework, and then we have the Shell Toolbox. If you are interested in a toolbox, a book about all the tools you need for your daily work at the Linux command line with explanations, with example calls, and so on, then have a look at the Shell Toolbox. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. My name is Robert Wolfert, and perhaps see you next time.